Before going deep into the conversation, let's agree on three things. The first thing, logically speaking, if you want to become from that 1% division, you need to do something that everyone else does not do. Many successful individuals and businesses stands out because they innovate or offer something unique. And by doing what everyone else does, it may lead to average results. While finding a new solutions or new ideas or new approaches, it can set you apart from the 99% of the people. The second thing, most of the people go with the flow, meaning that they follow the least resisting path. Because humans are social beings and we often seek acceptance and approval from others. And social pressures can also influence people to conform to behaviors and expectation of their social groups in order to fit in or to avoid any kind of conflict. Stepping out of the comfort zone can be daunting, and many people prefer to stick to familiar routines and behaviors because they feel safe and more secure in the known rather than the unknown. The third thing, the 1% division is not easy. If achieving success were easy, the majority of the people that you see would attain it. The fact that only a small percentage of individuals reach a high levels of success highlights the challenges and the obstacles inherent in this journey. The 1% division often demands a significant effort, perseverance, and a sacrifice as well. It requires individuals to push beyond their comfort zones, take risks, and persist through failures and setbacks also. Success is not a one-size-fits-all. It varies from person to person, and it can encompass various aspects of life such as career, relationships, personal growth, family, and fulfillment as well. It requires actions, resilience, and willingness to go against the grain or take the road less traveled. And take this to your account, in United States and many other developing countries, the 1% of rich people hold the vast majority of property and wealth. In the United States, for example, about 3 million people hold 40% of the wealth. However, when you break down that 1%, you find something interesting, which is the top 1% of that group, or 30,000 of that group, hold a large portion of that 40%, which is about 25% of that 40%. Now for a second, I want you to forget about all the successful habits that you hear all the day, that you read online, that you saw on YouTube. Waking up early, motivation, dedication, discipline, committing to your goals, time management. Now if you want to become from that 1% division, you need to get a unique idea or a contrarian idea, or in other words, spotting a problem, trying to solve the problem effectively, and creating a value that you're gonna offer for others. This is the secret, and it is all about that. And by identifying and solving a problem that affects a large segment of the population or has a significant market demand, this can lead to widespread adoption and success. Now let's take two guys from the 1% division and try to understand what they did. The first person, Jeff Bezos. Back in the 90s, Jeff Bezos revolutionized the retail industry with his contrarian idea of selling books online. He was able to see the potential of the internet as a platform for e-commerce. Jeff Bezos not only provided a solution to common problem, but also he offered several key advantages to the customers. Firstly, Jeff Bezos focused on providing low-cost options to the customers, leveraging the efficiency of online operations to offer competitive prices compared to the traditional brick-and-mortar stores. Secondly, prioritize fast delivery because he understood the importance and convenience and efficiency for customers. Jeff Bezos' approach was not just about selling books. It was about leveraging technology to solve existing problems in that time in the retail industry and deliver value to the customers. Now let's go to the second person, which is Steve Jobs. This man solved various problems through his career. But the overarching problem he addressed was the lack of user-friendly technology that integrated into people's life. Steve Jobs focused on creating innovative products that were easy to use, pleasant and highly functional and user-friendly. And these are some specific problems he addressed. Number 1, making computers more accessible to the average person. This man revolutionized the personal computing industry with the introduction of Macintosh in 1984, which featured a graphic user interface and a mouse that made computers easier and much more user-friendly. Number 2, Jobs changed the way people listen to music with the introduction of iPad and iTunes, making it easy for consumers to purchase it and organize and listen to their favorite songs. Number 3, revolutionizing the smartphone industry. This man transformed the mobile phone industry with the introduction of the iPhone, which is a combined phone, music player, internet browser, and a camera into one sleek device. Can you imagine that? Now, when we examine the lives of high successful individuals, our attention gravitates towards the visible aspect or the most obvious part for the people, such as their discipline, their dedication, or their hard work and their daily routine and stuff. However, the story behind the 1% lies in their ability to identify problems, having contrarian idea and transform them into successful venture. The 99% of the crowd have one bad failure and then use it as an excuse for the rest of their life to not try to do something extraordinary. This phenomenon is particularly evident among the 99% crowd, those who, after encountering a significant failure, they retreat into a mindset of self-doubt and reluctance to not try to pursue anything extraordinary. They may use this failure as a convenient excuse to justify playing it safe and avoiding risks in the future. The fear of experiencing another failure, coupled with the comfort of staying with the familiar boundaries, leads them to settle for mediocrity rather than striving. You need to go deep inside your mind and convince yourself that each loss is a valuable lesson that brings you one step closer to your goal. Every time you encounter a loss or setback or experiencing anything that is not blessing, you gain valuable insight into what works and what does not work. This knowledge is incredibly valuable because it helps you to refine your approach, adjust your strategies, and focus your efforts on what has the greatest potential for success. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed, I have just found 10,000 ways that will not work." This mindset of viewing failure as a necessary and integral part of learning process is the key for achieving breakouts and making meaningful progress.